Going ghost. Yo, what's going on, guys? Welcome to the Lucky Ocean podcast. Here with Jayme from Tipsy Turtles, and we got clean today. Finally got a day off of work, man. How does that feel?
Well, it's not off. I still have to go back in,
damn.
And I already had like an 8 a.m. meeting. So from 8 until like 11:30, I was in a meeting. So yeah, unfortunately, I do have to work today.
Dang.
Yeah.
So yeah.
Well, enjoy your break.
Man.
Yeah.
How you been, Jayme?
Yeah, I've been good, brother. Just here with my Rome as usual. Just chopping it up with you guys. Happy to be on the show this time around.
Hell yeah, man.
Yeah.
What's been going on in everybody's life, man? What's been going on with the Turtles? I heard you guys partnered with Sneckies.
Yeah, man. A whole bunch is happening, brother. We got a partnership, and I think like the way we. Ooh.
I'm giving you the full screen.
Yeah, you're center stage, my brother.
I was wondering for a second. I'm like, what is going on? But yeah, man. We partnered up with Sneckies. We're doing something pretty cool. Like we did like what's called like a last episode. So we partnered up with like 4 projects. Sneckies was the first one. So basically, you can only watch the show if you hold a Tipsy Turtle. So it encouraged their community to mint. And to watch the show, like you just have to get into the Discord, hold a role where you at least have like 1 Tipsy Turtle, and you get to watch the show. So we're happy with the response from it. So I mean, we're getting there slowly but surely.
That's good. Like the biggest thing that I can say is, just keep grinding. For House of Titans, I do mod work over there, and it's the same thing. We're still doing strongholds. We're still, celebrating like the mint, and we're going to do an art upgrade and stuff. And so just keep on your grind, keep coming in daily, show people that you won't leave and you'll never leave. You know what I'm saying? And then people buy in at that point. You know what I mean? It's pretty cool.
I actually respect the grind over at HOT, man, because I remember when the project just came out, I only saw like maybe 600 mints. And, I knew you guys had like a bunch of assets to move, as well as like the mint price was pretty high. So I saw the recent announcement where you guys are 50% through. So like it's testament to what you're saying, man. Just keep hacking away at it and you'll get there eventually.
Yeah, you had some Sneckies come through and help mint a few turtles earlier too, didn't you?
That's for us or for clean?
No, for you.
Oh yeah. They came through in numbers, man. It was, I think Sneckies posted like last week Thursday, but yeah, we got a few mints. Then we got a few mints from them before. So it's just about like continuing the relationship, releasing like special content with them, and just kind of like watch things unfold like organically. I think we get there eventually. It's gonna take some time, but we'll get there eventually. I remember. Go ahead.
So you have 637 minted at the moment. What's the total until you sell out?
Yeah, so we're 50% through too. Nice. Funny enough. So it's 1250. So about 600 and, if my math is right, 13 assets left to sell, and then we'd have gotten there. So still a bit to go, but we'll get there.
Slowly but surely, man. That's just how crypto's been. I mean, Bitcoin too. I was talking about this in my Discord, and I said I got fooled when Bitcoin went to new highs. I thought we were in a bull market. And I feel like maybe we weren't, maybe because I looked at, there was a chart too for how much retail investing is now compared to pre-pandemic and how much institutional investing was during pre-pandemic and now. And even after the ETFs, institutional investing is still lower, if you can believe that.
Whoa.
Which is really bullish long-term, in my opinion. But I think that the bull market really isn't here yet. And on top of that, we have some things in the next 4 to 5 months that are scary. They're not necessarily going to play out badly, but they're going to create a little bit of uncertainty, right? We have a war at the moment that's continuing to develop. We'll have to see how that continues to develop. And then we also have an election year, and that's going to start, the election start November 5th. So we still have a lot of that's baked into, I think, people's minds before they're like, okay, I see what we're going to do. I see who we have. I see maybe the war is doing this or the war has calmed down. And now I'm ready to deploy some capital. So I think some people are waiting on the sidelines.
There's that, but I also think, so pandemic wise, I think what really helped, like original like retail investors get in, and this may be completely wrong. I don't have any sort of information. It's literally just a feeling, which is terrible. But I think a lot of people did what I did, and we looked at GameStop, right? And we saw, okay, we made great gains there. It's wonderful. Now what? You know what I'm saying? And so for me, it was just natural because Robinhood had Dogecoin, it had Bitcoin, it had Ethereum, right? And then as you did your more research, you're like, wait, I don't actually own these things. Like I have to go to a place where I have to actually hold these in my own wallet, self-custodial wallet, right? And so I think I haven't seen anything do that really in the regular market. I think that was like really a one-off. I don't think I'm ever going to experience anything like that ever again. It was awesome, at the time to be a part of it. But like, I think that really helped the crypto market because all those people that were in retail that were doing GameStop were very sketchy of the whole thing. They were like, cards are stacked against us. We know it's flawed. We know the system's rigged. You know what I'm saying? Against us. And we're going to have to eat shit every single time. And so I don't want to do that anymore. I want to be able to invest in something, and that's where crypto came in and kind of saved a lot of us, I think.
100%. I actually thought you were going to take it a different direction, Clean. I thought you were going to say, like the stimmies. I know that, that's one of like, not the narrative, but actual inflows. So when people get extra cash, they look to maybe park it in somewhere. And then crypto was one of the beneficiaries of that. Okay, where do I put my money type thing? And then maybe even like to maybe even go a little deeper, like from like a macro outlook. I don't know if you guys listen to Raoul Powell by any chance. Do you?
I'm sorry, what was it?
Raoul Powell, from Real Vision. Well, currently he's been like doing a lot of soul shilling, but like he owns a research firm. He's a big macro guy. He was macro before he joined crypto, and then like on entering crypto, he's been sharing like his viewpoint from like a macroeconomic standpoint. And he has like this like theory. I think he calls it the everything curve or the everything code. I've just started listening to him recently, and he was saying, basically like the effect that quantitative easing or like inflationary monetary policy has on markets. And he was saying that crypto is no different in terms of like being a beneficiary. So like when we were printing money during the pandemic, assets benefited and crypto benefited as well. And his prediction is, so basically between like the end of this year, as early as even summer, towards the back end of 2025, he expects a parabolic bull run. So to your point, Nick, like I don't know if it's here. Some people would argue that it is because some like majors tested like all-time highs and are still probably like around that, probably 10, 20, 30% off. But yeah, I've not seen my bags go up, so I mean, like I'm still, I'm still holding out.
Hey, if there is a bull market, I'm waiting for my bull market, man. Like Bitcoin's done great, and I've been thinking too. Maybe, I mean, I'm personally waiting for Bitcoin to go much, much higher. When I hear this is the first year, let alone first few months of a Bitcoin ETF, and then you hear Hong Kong is getting involved, and we just had news this morning, or at least I got it this morning, that South Korea is going to have ETFs that allow buying of Bitcoin. I mean, it's just a matter of time before it continues to have a supply shock. And it's I think, when was it? It was 420 when we did the halving. So almost 19 days, which is usually when assets start to go higher. I don't think it's going to be the same 19 days. I think we're really close to that, if not like right there. So it's probably a little bit longer. But I think overall, maybe I should just not be too excited for the immediate future. If I could just keep postponing my outlook, it's inevitable, I feel like.
It's so funny. Like I tried to restrict like my bullishness. Clean. I don't know how you guys feel, but when I see it at 45 cents in them, I'm like, a part of me just like wants to do something crazy and like, probably like leverage up, like stack some, because I, just like you, I do get the feeling that there's a sense of inevitability about where things are going to go. I think I said it to you last time, Tanik. I think we at least hit our previous all-time highs, around $3.10, which is like a comfortable 6x from here. So like if you load up on the right kind of bag, you could change your life. So I'm over here just kind of pinching myself to and fro with my decision making to say, all right, should I, try to use like a bit of leverage and snag some ADA on the cheap? But like I'm still undecided. I bought a little more, but not using leverage. Like from the fiat minds, I said, all right, well, let's make the sacrifice and load up a little. But how are you guys feeling? What are you thinking?
I'll let Clean. You can handle it first.
What am I thinking?
Yeah, bro. Where are your bags right now, bro? What you trying to do?
Well, so a lot of people don't have faith in ADA right now. Sorry to say. I don't know. It's just it hasn't had the parabolic runs, right? Or the 10, 20x or whatever. I still like ADA as an environment to be in. You know what I'm saying? So I'm still just kind of stacking. I did buy Bitcoin like earlier, just to have the stability of it. For me, I'm waiting as late as 2025. If nothing happens by 2025, like I'll legitimately have no idea what I'm doing and like probably freak out, But for right now, yeah, I've done Soul. I did a little bit of Soul. I'm still very nervous about like their NFTs and their like shitcoin market and other things like that. What I learned about going to ETH and going to Soul and going to Matic is that I feel comfort when I come to ADA. I feel like I know more about what I'm doing.
Yeah.
Because I just like the environment I'm surrounded in. Mm-hmm. And I feel comfortable with the wallets. I feel comfortable with, Nick, people inside there, that it's just kind of like, all right, this is home. Like I screwed around over here. That was my hoe phase. And I'm coming back home. So I'm waiting until 2025. I still DCA in. I still try to do as much as I possibly can. But I mean, I'm just waiting. I'm patient. Like for me, when I started this thing, it wasn't I'll be here for like 2 years and get the hell out. You know what I'm saying? The idea was I'm going to stay for multiple bull runs, right? To see exactly how far we can take this. Originally, I was like, I'm not stopping until it hits like $20, $30. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
Which is like forever away. But, it's just savings. I have my stuff staked and it's earning a little bit of interest, and I'm okay with that. I'm okay with that.
Yeah. I was super bullish like probably 4 or 5 months ago while everything, Bitcoin every other day was hitting like 1,000, 2,000 higher, and so I was just like, oh, okay, I need to look for an exit strategy like real quick, like this is going up like crazy. And now everything's died down a bit, and we all talked about this. I talked about it all the time. Like there's definitely going to be a pullback, and when it happens, just get excited and buy more. And now that it's here, I can't help but be a little nervous. And it's like, bro, we planned for this. Like, what are we doing? So I just remind myself that like, even if worst case scenario, a war breaks out and it's a little bit worse and inflation goes higher due to gas prices or whatever, maybe presidency turns out not the way people wanted to, and that creates another bit of a year of unbullishness, then it's still fine. We still have 2026, 2027, 2028. Like we're in the right place. That's how I feel. I see the technology being built here, and it's not like we're not developing. Cardano has the most development out of any other crypto. So I just remind myself that, and I start to calm back down. I got really excited, during the bear market. I always had this like 2026 kind of outlook. And then because things went up so quick, I got in my head and I got excited and too rambunctious. So I just need to like calm myself back down again and remember we're still in the right place. That's how I feel.
Yeah, we're starving cats, right? And like we got our first little sip of milk, and it's like, oh, this is it, boys. And nope, it's like, hold on. But when I think about it, 8 at 46 cents, you know what I'm saying, or whatever it is now, is fine. That's fine by me, right? Like it was at 24, 25 cents
For a good
for
one,
quite some time,
yeah.
So for this to be at 46 cents, you're double up. But I mean, how many people actually did that realistically? I still have some dollar ADA I'm trying to like liquidate, some $2 ADA that I'm trying to like flatten
too.
out, So yeah, I think it's okay. We'll be all right.
Yeah, and we good morning, John or Juan. He said have degened into Sneck Whiff. I have not. Let's see where that's at for a second.
Yeah,
Let me go chat tools.
neck with hat.
Sneck Whiff
Yeah.
at. Yeah.
The whiffs were running for a moment, man. Like,
They
that
were.
was-
Yeah, they had dog with hat for a while. That was on Soul,
Oh,
right?
yeah, so,
And or was it ETH?
I think it was Soul. I thought it was ETH for a second, but then like when you said that, I'm like, I think
Yeah.
it wasn't. Let me check.
Honestly, who trades shit coins on ETH? Like, how expensive is that?
I don't do it.
Yeah.
That's how I got started. Like the first I bought a meat and it's Tiger King. I don't know if you guys know that show, that Netflix show a while back. Tiger King. I don't know
Tiger
if you
King,
guys
yeah. So
yeah. So
I'm
one of
never
those-
gonna financially recover from this. Yeah, that's what it is.
Yeah, and I am never going to financially recover from that. And it's so silly because when I bought in, I remember getting, because that was my first real experience with gas fees, brother. I had to head for the hills. Shout out Tips Turtles. Respect one. I appreciate you, brother. But yeah, like when I experienced the gas fees for the first time, I'm like, nah, there has to be a better way. And then in comes Cardano, and I've just been here ever since. So, trust me, brother, I understand the feels. Like I don't do that side of the world anymore. Like I'm Cardano, and I'm trying to venture into like maybe other L1s and even one L2 that I don't know if you guys know about base by any chance. Are you guys familiar or no?
Yeah, I don't know everything about it. I just know it's a layer 2, one of the newer ones underneath Ethereum, and it's got some decent hype behind it.
Right. Just to pull back for a second. So dog with hat is Solana. I just checked. But to I guess like the greater point, man. So like there are a few L2s and a couple other L1s. So I'm thinking to start playing with Sol just to see what's up. Um, I mean, I own a bit of Sol, but I've never done anything ecosystem with it. And then similar thing with base. I haven't done anything ecosystem with it yet, but I'm watching them. I like how they're talking. I like how they're moving. I like some of like the like macro or the meta things that they're doing that I think is going to play out like well for them in the future. For those listening, like that's base is Coinbase is L2. There's no token, but there is like a large vision behind it, like a pretty good community. I've like had that experience so far, but I've not committed with cash. But like I am going to check them out to see if like maybe that's where I get my outside of Cardano experience where I might feel comfortable to do something else. So yeah, I'll keep you guys posted on that.
Yeah, definitely. I've been looking to try to, I've been saying this before. I have a lot of Cardano, so I've just been putting things into other ecosystems just because my Cardano bag is too big to be healthy, right? Like I love it. That's why I have it, but I have to understand that I might be wrong. That's like my big thing is life is like I go after what I believe in, but at the end of the day I could be wrong. Right? So I'm just trying to make sure I cover the scenario that I'm a little wrong.
Yeah, I think nobody knows that they're wrong, right? Until you have that oh crap moment. And I'm not saying ADA has that oh crap moment, but it's kind of like, hey, get your stuff together, right?
I mean,
Like-
I want to talk on that a little bit too, though, just because it's really only 4 coins. It's Bitcoin, Solana, Ethereum, and BNB, Binance Coin, that have hit new all-time highs. Every other coin is relaxing and still very low in comparison to their all-time highs. We're not alone. Cardano isn't lagging behind everyone. Like it's just 4 that are outperforming by a mile. And because they're outperforming by so much, we feel like we're not doing anything, but we are. And on top of that, we've had some bullish news that I found out just this morning. Emergo partnered with GSR. I don't know if you guys know about this, but Emergo is, I believe, partners with Huawei as well, which has their own Cardano node. And this is supposed to help with a lot of liquidity coming in, and they're going to help get us some access to some VCs, which is a thing we've needed for a long, long time.
And I told Rich McCracken that too. Like I tweeted at him. He was like, yo, what do you guys think like about this? And I said, Charles screwed us by talking so much shit about VC funding that, we're here stymied when, to be honest with you, any one of us should have been courting any sort of venture capitalist onto our chain, right? Solana does this shit all the time. And although they can sit there and they can kind of demand certain things, you know what I'm saying? Because you're using their funds, you still have that liquidity, right? So it's got to be some sort of marriage that happens between people. It's like you can't not have venture capitalists in your stuff, dude. It just doesn't happen.
Yeah, and that's something that I'm happy for the discussion. I was actually on a space with Charles about 3 weeks ago. It was like an Atlanick space on a Thursday night, remarketing, but he came through and we had like a very candid discussion about like, what the community needs. And I was telling him that, boy, all right, so his stance on VCs, and then, the community follows suit. Like, when he set that pace, the whole anti-VC narrative, it really creates the kind of environment where, and at the end of the day, VCs are people. If you create the kind of environment where, okay, they're against us, when they hear things in mainstream media, mainstream crypto media that say, all right, nothing is happening on Cardano, it's just like one more reason not to do anything on the chain. And I was even making the point, and we've seen people say this, and I think that people don't take it seriously, but I've pitched like over 77 VCs, right? I've gotten a few answers. I've gotten like 4 meetings. We finally closed the deal like not too long ago for a convertible note with a VC that's not a crypto native VC, by the way, but one out here in the Caribbean. But the crypto native VCs, 2 of like the 4 conversations I had, one said that they'd only invest like if we were to activate on a different chain like Kronos. And in my mind at the time, I'm like, Kronos, like that's not even like a big chain. Why say to me, okay, you don't really invest like if we're not on Cardano? And the other conversation was basically like, you're in a low liquidity environment. We're not really comfortable like putting like funds like towards a product. They like the idea and they liked us, but they aren't really interested in like putting capital that side. And this is for Tripod, by the way, and for Yard Labs on a whole. But I say that to say that VCs have their reasons for not wanting to invest like in Cardano and its ecosystem. And it would be good if we change the tone a bit to say, all right, what can we do to be more attractive? Because not everybody can get catalyst funding, and not all catalyst funding is enough. That's one. 2, you don't want to depend on just like you and your base to be able to support or bootstrap projects. You want outside liquidity, right? So, I mean, for me, it's a no-brainer. We can't fund everything on our own. Emerga Ventures, C Fund, Adaverse, like the 3 VCs that are Cardano focused, they don't cut much checks. And that puts founders like in a bad spot where, okay, if the Cardano VCs aren't cutting much checks, where does that leave us as, like the builders in the ecosystem? So I'm with you on that, Clean, man. Like we have to change the tone a bit to be more welcoming.
Yeah, and along with what Clean said too, I find it interesting that Charles had such a take like that back in the day, and I'm pretty sure he's, stopped saying some of the crazy things that he said as of late, but ultimately he wants to give the chain to the people and have it be run by the people. And if we decided that that's what we wanted, he should have no say in that. So to try to take a stance on VC so early, I feel like contradicts a little bit of the, chain for the people kind of narrative.
Well, so that's what he says. So like the main reason why people get VC funding is because, well, the VCs can kind of tell, venture capitalists can tell people like, hey, maybe you should do things in this way. Maybe you should do things. They have some sort of dictation to it. And the whole reason why we came to crypto was to get away from that dictation where it's a true free market. And Charles, when he was like young, he's still young. He's younger than I am. You know what I'm saying?
Mm-hmm.
Yeah. Like he's still young. He doesn't have like everything figured out. And I'm not saying I do either. But what I'm saying is like, you can't just go around willy-nilly saying that shit. Like I totally agree that we all came to crypto for like that freedom to do whatever we want with our money. But at the same time, It has to work to where I have to be able to do what I want with my money. And if I can't do anything but buy like my NFTs or do other things because we're not attractive enough, or we don't accept VCs, or we talk so much shit about them, and how it's going to corrupt our market, and I can't use it to, I don't know, swipe like a Visa or get accepted in anywhere as like a currency, then we're doing it wrong. Right? It's kind of like,
I think too, though, that's human nature to have somebody in charge, to have people who want to take charge, to have people who want to have more of a say in something. That's just human nature. And sure, you can try to prevent that as much as you want. But as time goes on, we've seen that that's how it's always going to be. For example, history repeats itself a lot, so England, Americans left England to go and found America because taxes were too high. And now we have taxes that are as high as I've ever seen in my entire life. Taxes are horrible. And also we left and we had all these systems set in place so that one system couldn't overrule another system. And there's still a party that has more say than the other. And that won't ever go away to a large degree because it's human nature to try to do that. And I don't know, once it gets too big, though, I don't know where you go from that, because it's easy to kind of abandon ship and be like, okay, let me go start over. And things work well with a small group of people who all agree that things should be this way. But then once it blows up, it gets so convoluted. So I don't know. And I think, too, it does help to have this is a hot take, a little bit of segregation in the sense, right? So Block is Hot brought up something. It was a tweet, and he talked about the culture in one of the countries that he visited. And he's like, in this culture, they always go outside after work and they all hang out together and they all do this. And in that culture was 90% one ethnicity. And then it kind of went in. I started reading this comment section, and people were talking about countries that have more percentage of like a melting pot actually don't get along as well. And we love the idea that we should, right? But it's hard. We have different cultures, we have different preferences, and that is just human nature. It's not a negative thing. So that's just my little rant. I feel like we need to find a way to come together.
You know what? All right. So like I'm over here struggling. So all right. So two things, right? What you just said is true. It is, what would I say, the realist's argument that things will default to centralization. But I will say this, man, like I don't know if I've sniffed too much of the Kool-Aid, but I do hope for a future where at the very least, L1 can remain sacrosanct. Like that is decentralized in the sense that, anyone can participate. It's not exclusionary. It doesn't look to censor transactions or ideas. That remains true. And then from there, let's say if somebody looks to, build like an L2 or like a DApp, should they choose to go the route of like a central, then that's fine. That's within their right. So my hope, so even though it's true that, centralization is still a risk, even at the L1, even though we've done such a great job, but my hope is that we do still break that mold so that something, because here's the thing, when you reintroduce centralization, right? Yes, our bags pump, but we also do that at the risk of falling into the same traps as we do have, like, no IRL. Like, what if centralized actors decide that, they want either to be an inflationary token, which is possible with governance, right? That's a risk of governance. But I said this to say that, like, it's a real risk, and that's been the pattern. But I really do hope, and that's why I love Bitcoin too, because even though Charles spoke out against, like, Bitcoin not wanting to go the route of governance, not wanting to figure out ways of how to upgrade itself, there is an advantage to that. Like, if you can't change, then you might stand the test of time to say, all right, you don't go the route of centralized actors switching Bitcoin to inflationary policy, though it's still possible, I've been told. So that's even something that I have to look into myself. A bit long-winded, but I just wanted to get that point in there. Like, I'm hopeful that, maybe this is the way to change it. And I'm just really hoping that the world has something that stays unbiased, like impossibly the opposite of neutral, where people can just use this thing. It doesn't matter if I'm in a war-driven country. You can't say, okay, because you side with Putin, okay, your money doesn't work. You can't say, okay, all right, because majority of the people want free things, that we inflate the monetary supply, where people lose purchasing power over time. I'd love to have something that just does what we want it to do, which is keep our purchasing power and allow everybody to transact freely. Yeah, that's my little rant.
Yeah, man. There's not an answer that I have, and I don't think it's an easy topic. So I think that that's why, we have so many countries and so many states. I think America's tried its best by having individual laws per state and then federal laws that they believe should be in place for everyone. And I think that's the closest we've had to the right government, in my opinion, but it's still not perfect. There's still so many flaws that we have. And Bitcoin is trying to help with the monetary side. And I think also this is trying to figure out how to word it, but monks, for example, they have each task of their own. So like maybe this guy is in charge of cooking for the day, but you're not in charge of cooking. So you don't know what's being cooked. You don't get a say. You don't get to say, I don't like, beans or whatever it is. You're eating whatever he cooks. And then this guy makes your clothes. You don't get to choose, whatever, like everybody dresses the same and they all look the same. That sort of takes out a lot of the thought in your mind, and it allows you to focus on other things. And I think that that's why they have a much healthier, much more clear mindset. So I've been trying to figure out, how do we simplify things in life to get to that healthier mindset? But right now, we have so much information at our fingertips, and there's so many different, I feel like the tokens that we have now, whether it's ETH or Bitcoin or Cardano, are kind of like their own mini states with their own rules. And we're all trying to figure it out. So maybe we create something like a government where they have those federal rules, and then you allow all these other coins to be together with their own in particular rules, similar to what America's created. Yeah. But I'm just not sure what that looks like.
Yeah. Clean. I wanted to touch back on something that you said earlier too, All right. Reed Charles' stance on VCs. There's an advantage that came with Charles's approach when he went that deeply philosophical, right? And he kind of made it feel like us against them, like not only with VCs, but like with other, communities as well. It did force us to become very tight-knit, very, what would I say, independent. And in some cases, you could directly warrant like the strength of our community to that behavior, to what Charles did. And I bring it up to say that I think that you have natural life cycles for certain things. Like when you're on your journey, when you build something and you take on that mindset, you do need to bootstrap a community, bootstrap interest. And clearly it was an effective way to do it, to like have it be a case where we're a bit like polarizing, and we're a bit like, okay, purists in some sense. And then that kind of forced like, okay, this kind of close-knit vibe. But I think eventually you do need to transition, not so much away from, let's say, the true core principles, but from the idea that, okay, for example, and VCs is a good one. You can't say that you're trying to build something that everybody uses, and like you're saying, nah, we don't really like you guys. We don't really want you guys here. So at some point, I think we're starting to do it. We have to transition away from that kind of mindset. But to his credit, like it was actually beneficial to us, in my opinion, at the early stages.
I guess maybe we lost him. Maybe his laptop died or something. But yeah, I think I did not tie in totally what my oh, there he goes.
I literally tapped the refresh button, which is
that's hilarious.
So I do apologize about that. For sure. Charles has always been like a good cheerleader for Cardano and stuff like that. I think this part was easy, and to your credit, like you this is definitely 100% true what you said. The biggest thing is that, well, when he said that we didn't have smart contracts, we really didn't have much. We had staking and we had like concepts that we wanted to achieve. So at that point in time, his whole shtick should have been exactly that. Rah, rah, sis, boom, bah, free the people. You know, you do get a fan base based off of that, because you don't have the things structure-wise to kind of say, okay, so we need funding now. Papa needs funding. Yes. And so now we're at that point and we need to get it. And it's very hard because of the way we were before. And, and
transition.
Yeah, the transition is different. I feel like, not that Cardano needs a new spokesperson. I think Charles is he can capture anybody, right? You can tell he's just a smart dude by talking, like in every single chat. If he goes onto a huge chat with like Elon Musk or, you know, somebody else, some other prominent figure, even in the ETH space, you can tell he can straight talk you into the ground.
Yeah, man.
Just based on knowledge. He does a really great job at doing that. Sometimes it's super boring for people and they don't want that, right? But you can tell this dude's smart and or thinking on a different level. You know what I mean?
Mm-hmm.
But we need somebody who's kind of cool as shit that can capture some VCs.
So speaking of some cool shit though, I think I brought this up before, but if not, Max Mar, he partnered with Snek about 3 weeks ago. I don't know if you guys saw that. Ever since the price of Snek did go up pretty strongly, but now we're on a pretty strong pullback, even though we have some really strong dip buying followed by people getting out, but still.
Wait, which one is it?
Here I'm showing Snek.
He's like an influencer, right?
Right.
Big YouTuber.
Yeah, Max Mar right here. And he did a pretty cool introduction to, you know, why he chose Snek, and he made it very clear that like, hey, when I make videos, it's not going to be all Snek. I'm not going to be a Snek shill. I think it was just like a really respectable partnership.
Shill, bro.
Right.
Yeah.
Yeah. But
he's a Cardano fan. I think I've seen like a couple of his videos.
Yeah.
At least this was like a year, maybe two ago. And he was covering Cardano pretty well, actually.
100%.
Yeah, there's some people, I think most of the people who got on the Cardano train, they just never found a way to get off. You know, it just kept going.
Yeah.
Yeah, man.
And that's what I love about Cardano.
We're in it for the long haul, baby.
You can't get out, man. There's no leaving.
Came in a flipper, ended up a user, bro. You know what I mean? So, yeah, it's kind of funny.
But he brought up, you know, Cardano fans need to realize that crypto is a self-fulfilling prophecy. If you go around all day saying there's no hype in Cardano anymore, then there will be no hype. So he's like, if you like something, you should speak on the aspects that you like about it. And I do agree with that. But I wanted to add that there's always going to be people who don't want Cardano to succeed. And you're always going to see them posting similar things too. And that's not going to stop us from succeeding. It ties back into the other point. There's only 4 cryptos that are doing crazy numbers right now. And I think it's inevitable that Cardano is going to go higher. So, you know, I just kind of wanted to tie the fact that just because you see some of these like people typing like, oh, like, you know, my NFTs are never going to be worth anything or whatever, or like there's no engagement on Cardano. It's not even entirely true. And I've been seeing so much more positivity in the last month on Cardano Twitter than I have in a long time. So I think he's right. And there was a lot of negativity, but I think he's just a little late to the party.
Yeah. I would say like a month and a half ago, maybe a month ago, bro, all-time lows. Like that shit peaked so bad. Drama. Everybody wanted to kill everybody. Yep. It was super entertaining for a minute, but also it was like, Jesus Christ, guys, stop.
Yeah, this is a drag. Like, I'm depressed.
Like, dude, what are we doing here? You know?
Agreed.
Yeah,
right? Like
people fighting ducks, fighting apes, fighting, everything. Dude.
Even on Soul, man, like Soul's network goes down, and you still see people bragging about how much money they made and how Soul's so great, and it's like they're just keeping the happy train going, man.
Yeah, because every single person over there is a rugger. Period. Everybody. If you listen to a single Soul person and they're shilling something, it's because they're selling it. It's not nobody over there. Nobody has any good intentions whatsoever. I'm convinced, dude. I am convinced. No one has a soul.
Damn.
On Soul.
That's a terrible ad for Soul, dude.
I love.
Damn, Clean sounds like he just got done listening to a bunch of Kendrick diss tracks.
Dude, did you see that stuff this week?
Oh my god, dude.
That was so dumb. Like, it was just dumb.
You're talking about the fact that his bodyguard got shot?
Just everything, dude. The fact that these two are dissing each other with some sort of beef, bro. It's because rap music is down bad, and they need somebody to come in, and they need hype, and they ain't got none.
Yeah.
And all of a sudden, Drake, who is probably a billionaire, bro.
Drake.
Yeah. and then Kendrick, who has a massive following, considered a great hip-hop artist, is absolutely one of the best or whatever. And all of a sudden these dudes are beefing over what? Like, nothing.
Well, I mean, it started because I think Kendrick released a song about Cole and Drake and maybe somebody else. And then, J. Cole responded, and then he was like, actually, I don't know why I made the song. It just take me out of here. I'm going to take the song off of Spotify. I'm going to go hang out with my daughter, have a good one. I'm done. Yeah. And then Drake was like, nah, I don't apologize to nobody. I'm hard. Yeah. And then he made push-ups. And then Kendrick took 23 days to respond. And everybody was like, oh, it took him so long to respond. Yeah, because he had 20 songs lined up. And so, he released one, and then another, and then another, and then Drake released one. And then an hour after Drake released that second diss track, he released another, and he just killed him. But he was mad that he talked about his daughter or son or family in some way. I don't remember. I don't follow it 100%. But Kendrick was mad that Drake brought some family into it. So Kendrick was like, okay, and brought his entire life into it, basically calling him a pedophile and all this stuff. And I was like, dude.
Now, here's the thing, though. Drake's response to that was like, all the information was fed to you by somebody in my camp that I knew that was going to give you that information. And
that's what he said.
And here's what's happening. This is the real truth. Like, blah, blah, blah. Get your facts straight. You reported something based on hearsay. You know what I'm saying? And so that's the final say of that. But then Kendrick Lamar, I guess, is probably going to come up with something. Either way, it sparked a lot of debate. It was all over the place. It did what it was supposed to do, which was keep album sales going, number one. And number two, people talking about hip hop, people talking about rap.
Sure. But so here's my thing is, why would you purposely make up that lie about yourself to have Kendrick use as a diss track? Whether it's right or wrong or true or false, that narrative is now on your head. That is a bad decision. He doesn't care. He almost died.
So much fuck you money, dude.
He just got shot at. Who cares how much money he's got?
None of us ever again. You know what I mean?
I don't know, man. I thought that was a bad move.
I agree with you that it was a bad move, but for a different reason. So, just for clarity, right? What the stories he planted was about the fake 11-year-old daughter. It wasn't so much about the pedophilia accusations. Like, he didn't plant that one. So. And I think that's really what did him. Like, that was the narrative went against him, brother. If you check sentiment on Twitter, like, it's just he was obliterated. Like, after that second to last track from Kendrick, like it really felt like it was a wrap, because I just don't know how you recover from that. It's just not something that you want to be accused of. And I mean, to your point, Clean, I really do think that the industry execs had something to do with this, because hip hop numbers are down. I think country's what's been killing it, and they fired a bunch of people. I think the layoffs were like hitting like ridiculous numbers, like 40%. So I do think that they've been beefing for 10 years, by the way, But I do think that it's happening now. Like, the beef actually happened now because hip hop's numbers are down. So
yeah, they're
that's
in the
just my theory. Yeah.
They got the bear market blues, bro.
Yeah.
The
100%.
rap bear market blues. They're
We
in
know.
the deep bear as far as rap
Exactly.
industry goes. And
Yeah, man.
see what happens. Look what happened to Cardano. We were all at each other's throats, getting ready to kill each other.
Yeah, man.
Same thing. Same things
Mhm.
I
happen.
will say though, I love beef when it's healthy, or at least when it seems healthy. Like I'm a Super Smash Brothers Melee fan, and for the longest time, it's been like kind of boring. The top 3 players always win, but when there's like a new guy that comes in, he just starts shit talking everybody, and everybody hates him, and everybody wants him to lose, and he's money matching people and losing money and just embarrassing people and embarrassing himself. Like, oh, dude, I love it. It's so fun to watch.
Yeah.
So
Yeah.
they knew what they were doing for sure.
I definitely feel that. Like, have you ever had like a mortal enemy or something like that in your life?
No, I've had a healthy enemy. Like when I first got into Smash, I found a group of friends who were old school and much better than me. And they were kind of training like 12 of us. And it was me and this other kid, Jonas or Jonah. I haven't seen him in years. I couldn't even find him if I wanted to. But we both played Fox. And he was a lame, more technical Fox than I was. And he would just stand in place and just up tilt with his left leg and just wait for me to run into it. And I would lose every game because all I wanted to do was be cool and do all the cool stuff. But he would just abuse it. And so he would just trigger me, dude. And they, in the group, they called me either Ken, and he was the other dude, Ryu from Street Fighter. And like he didn't hate me. He just wanted to play the game, but I hated him. I thought he was the lamest dude in the world. It was fun back in the day, going back and forth and trying to like get higher ranks and place higher in tournaments and stuff. It was great. What about you? You guys have any enemies or had?
Well, I mean, like I used to be a Pokemon and Yu-Gi-Oh card kind of a guy. And like I did have like 2 mortal enemies. One guy actually stole a Jinzo from me. I don't know if you guys know that classic. You guys used to watch Yu-Gi-Oh or no?
I was big into Yu-Gi-Oh. I don't remember that card though.
Yeah, Jinzo is one of the, so before the Blue Eyes White Dragon, like Jinzo was like the big thing back then. And I pulled one out of like a pack and we played, and he saw when I pulled it out, like I actually got the chance to play him in a game. Yeah, there he is, that man for. And then after, I think after I put, it was the only time I ever got to use it. He stole it from me. He stole it from me, and I found out that it was him because that same Jinzo, when I played somebody else, I saw him with it, and I'm like, where did you get this? And he said he got it from this person. And then funny enough, like shortly afterwards, he got diagnosed for what you call that? He was a kleptomaniac. So like he got expelled from school because like he just steal random stuff from people like for no reason. And this dude's rich too, so he didn't have any reason to steal. So they found out that he had an actual problem. But yeah, I've been beefing with that guy since then. I mean, I've let go of it really, but I'm like, I remember seeing him in like a Tottenham Hotspur group chat because I love football too, soccer for you guys in America, and he joined the chat, and I'm like, how do I feel about this guy? But I mean, all's well that ends well. That's years ago now. That's like back in high school days. So like, we're solid now. But that's the closest thing I can think of, like in terms of like a playful mortal enemy.
Yeah, I have one on the ball court, dude. His name was Dustin Keller.
Yeah.
You can look him up. He was a tight end in the NFL, and he was a local friend. We played ball together on AAU, but yeah, we never had beef until like sophomore season in high school, and he dunked on one of my teammates, and while he was dunking on one of my teammates, I was cherry picking to the other end of the basketball court, and then I dunked two-handed and got in his face and stuff. And that's what started it. And so this dude, we played basketball against each other locally, and then during track season, right? I was setting my personal best, which happened to be like school record, 6'10" in high jump.
Okay.
So I got 6 foot 10 inches. Keep in mind, in high school, I was 6'2". So I was jumping way over my height, okay, at this point. And I'm white as hell, okay? So I'm jumping, dude. And I'm blowing people out. I'm like, okay, I'm going to state this year in track. We're gonna do it. And he jumped 7 foot 1 inches. I wanted him to die. And then I go to shot put. I'm like, okay, I might not get high jump, but goddamn, I'm gonna get shot put. Sure as shit, this dude, who I found out was taking like steroids high school.
Oh, damn.
Okay, to help recover from injuries and stuff like that. Anyway, he goes into shot put and beats me by under a foot and gets to move on to state. I was so pissed. And we squashed it. Like I have season tickets to Purdue football, which he ended up going to Purdue, which is my alma mater. Like that's where I'm from. And so, I'd go to the football games that he would go to and play in, and like I talked to him afterwards and stuff, and it was cool. But at that time, I literally never wanted to see this dude ever again. He was a problem, bro. He was.
Dang.
Absolute freak. Absolute athletic freak.
Yeah, as far as like a sports thing, in high school, I played on the high school baseball team, and I know some of you guys are here for Cardano, but like, just not much is going on. We're gonna just chill for a bit. But I was on the high school baseball team, and I was really good leading up to that, but my parents didn't have like a whole lot of money, so I wasn't a donator kid. I didn't get to play much. And this kid in the locker room who was on the football team and didn't really know much about me, he started picking on me because I had I think it was a Game Boy DS or something. I was playing Pokemon on it. And he was calling me a nerd and like a fag and like all this stuff, right? And so like I would just like had it, and I started shoving him and talking shit back to him. And I was like, bro, he came up to me like a few days before, and he was like, hey, can you charge my DS for me? My charger broke. So I charged his DS for him, and then he called me a nerd and a fag and all this stuff for playing, a DS that he was playing like 2 days ago. So I was super pissed, and I made up this story on the spot. And he was like laughing at me. He was like, haha, you don't even play, or whatever, which really triggered me because I was good, but I didn't get to play. So I got really triggered. And I was like, you motherfucker don't know shit. I was at the last game, and I went up and I hit a grand slam winning shot, and that's why we're in the state championship. Yeah, just making stuff up, right? And he was like, oh, really? Like that's so cool, man. Like, congratulations. I didn't know. And I was like, no, you fucking bitch. I was like, I didn't play at all, you dumbass motherfucker. And I just started popping off. And so he got really embarrassed that he didn't even know. And he started pushing me, and we got into like a little bit of a fight in the locker room, but it ended with him backing down. Thankfully, he would have kicked my ass. I was like a $120, and he was like 185. He was a linebacker or something like that. And I was just like, I took his fist. I was like, fucking hit me. Like, I was so mad. I was going wild, dude. And everybody knew me as like the little quiet kid. So I just probably looked like the school shooter at the moment. Like, but yeah, we're cool now.
Yeah.
We're cool now, but yeah.
Yeah, that's nuts, dude. Online, I don't mess with online. I don't really care about that. Like, that stuff doesn't affect me anymore. I get triggered, But then once I learned what a troll was and what the sole purpose was, I just assume everybody's trolling at this point.
Yeah, just keep it pushing.
And so it's like I keep it a buck all the time, and I'm just like, I'm not falling into this goof and gaff, and
100%.
I'm not trying to waste my time. So
yeah, I feel that.
I'm too old for that shit. I'm 40 now.
I feel that. Dude, so Cardano, though, we had a little bit of volume today. I think we were one of the only cryptos that were in the green this morning. I could be wrong about that, but I saw a little message when I woke up. And I think that's to do with, like I said, Emergo and GSR and partnering with, I think because they're partners with Huawei and liquidity through VCs that we could potentially have. I think just that news is pretty hype. Once we actually get a VC, I think that will kind of be the next little catalyst. But we'll have to see, man. What do you guys think? Do you think, anything about the war? Have any thoughts about that? Have any thoughts about, bullish or bearish narratives in the next few months?
I'd love for you guys to probably listen to Raul Powell. I mean, like he's on the Solana and he's not on the Cardano train, but like he says some things that are very interesting, like from a macro perspective. Personally, I'm bullish. I I don't know if I have a right to be, but I am. And I I'm bullish for my own reasons, but then like hearing like macro theories that make sense to me. So basically, like one of the things he's saying is that things normally pump like in an election year, pending something like terrible happening. Another reason for things to pump is because they're going to make decisions pretty soon about um, how to handle debt, and he's thinking, and this has been the pattern, that the answer to the debt will just be to print more money. And then we've seen the effects by now, what printing money does to asset prices. So his theory is that like all of that comes in effect between summer, like this summer, and the end of 2025. He calls it the everything curve. Basically, like everything coming to bear with how we approach like monetary policy now, that it's just not going to get better. The answer will continue to be to increase debt. So his theory is that because of that, like it's the infinite money glitch, so to speak, asset prices will continue to go up, and those decisions again come into bear. And thankfully, it's like in line with the halving. So, like if you want like a theory, I think that theory makes sense. For me personally, like on the why is Jayme on the founder so bullish? Like when I just think about it, like from a narrative standpoint, we got to all-time highs without having an ecosystem. It shouldn't be difficult for people to realize that, hey, we did that and we didn't have this. Like we could do that again. Like that just makes sense to me. So that's my story that I tell myself. And I think we're doing things right, and hopefully the market realizes that we're also doing things right, and then organically traction comes. So either way, if Raul Pal is right about the macro and that influencing, let's say, the top cryptos prices, and then it spills over into like um other L1s that have prospects like us, obviously we'd be the first one people look to after those bitcoins pump. I think that's going to happen for us. And like, even if you look at it from like a not some macro standpoint, literally like being in the ecosystem, we've watched this thing grow from no dApps, like no DeFi, barely any NFTs at the time, to what we are today. So I think there's a lot more happening, and this should be reflected in price eventually, if the market weighs things correctly at an appropriate time.
Yeah, I think earlier too, where I was trying to go with it, because my thoughts bounce around a lot and I don't finish thoughts sometimes. But when I was talking about Bitcoin not hitting the peak, we all believe it's going much higher with ETFs coming out. I think in the past, Bitcoin was up so much that people did have excess, right? They were up so much that they could sell a little bit of Bitcoin and throw it into Cardano or throw it into these other assets. And I think right now everybody's so bullish on Bitcoin that nobody's willing to sell yet and have it trickle down. So I think that that's to come as well.
Yeah, agreed. What about you, Clean? What do you think?
I'm on the same boat. I'm just being patient. That's all I'm doing. I'm not freaking out one way or the other. Again, like I said, dude, I'm still waiting another year to feel like, okay, we're going to hit this bull. Like we're in a bull run right now, regardless of what you think, right? Prices, dude, Bitcoin hit 64K already. Okay. We're in a bull run. You just have to seek out the times where it's nice to buy right now. That's all it is. Right now is a really good time. 46 cent ADA, awesome. I think it's like shooting fish in a barrel, man. Like we're gonna be fine. The thing is like, is it trending down? Yeah, a little bit right there. But to be honest with you, like it doesn't. I'm not worried about it. I just think you got to be patient. So, yeah, it's nothing we haven't seen before. You know what I mean? Like at all.
Yeah, I know when I watch YouTube videos and stuff, I'm looking for somebody to be like, yeah, we're going to 1 million, and just kind of keep me, like in the bullish narrative. So I apologize for not always being that, but I try to be as realistic about it as possible. I do think, ultimately, yeah, we're going to all-time highs. We're here. We're going to be the people that are laughed at because we're crypto bros. But then in 10 years, just like people used to laugh at video game people or whatever, and now there's professional video game organizations, and it's the cool thing to be a part of. We're just early, so we're a bunch of lame nerds that are investing in fake money, right? But in 10 years, they're all going to be, for lack of a better word, on our dick.
Everybody's going to use the digital wallet. Most people use digital wallets right now, Apple Pay, other things like that. To incorporate some crypto into that is not hard at all, right? Like 20 years from now, let's say 10, 20 years from now, everybody will be using a digital wallet. It's just, that's just the way it is. I mean, everything is either going to be on here, or something attached to this, whether it be through, Tesla or whatever to do the nano chips and stuff like that. I don't think I'd be into it, but
yeah, no, I don't know about that.
you know what I mean? But
yeah,
somebody might be, just because you aren't, right? Our grandparents, you think they were into the shit we're into now? No.
Well, what's really cool too about
Cardi B? No. You know what I mean? Like,
I think you're right that everybody will have either a Bitcoin wallet or some sort of wallet. Maybe it's streamlined like a bank, and they hold all of your assets and it's connected to like one central wallet. I don't know. But I think that would be the right direction, to have kind of a central wallet that connects other wallets. And then this is what I want. So I want people to be able to vote with that, right? So that there's none of this like, oh, it was lying or the votes came from Argentina. Like, I don't want that narrative anymore. I want to know the truth for a fact. I don't want to have to guess. I want to see it, and I want, if somebody brings it up, to be able to be shut down and be like, no, here's all the proof right here. Everybody sees it. You're just crazy. I want some way for transparency to start coming back into people's lives. And I think through blockchain, we can get that.
Yeah.
Agreed.
Dude, not to cut you short, I do have to go. I actually bought a brand new car.
Okay. What car?
Your bag's been pumping clean.
So
Right?
What have you been investing in?
Listen,
You've been holding out.
I have been investing in a 2008 base model Ford Edge, okay, for 16 years, dude. The thing is done. It's kaput. Done. It's chilling in my garage right now. What I got was a Hyundai Elantra limited edition, and I got to test drive it. Dude, it is so freaking slick. Absolutely disgusting. So many, but I'm very intimidated by all the like bells and whistles it has, like, as far as like heated and cooled seats and like all these buttons that I have to get accustomed to. It has like a full dash that's digital and like a basic TV screen that's digital too. It's nuts. And yeah, so then I have to go pick up, I actually got prescribed on Ozempic as of today. So I also I have to go get that as well. And then I have to pick up my kids, and then I have to go to work. It's going to be a lame day, but thank you for spending time with me. I'm sorry if I got off topic and stuff. Go Cardano. I love everything on this chain. Like, this is my home chain. I might go see elsewhere in my hoe phase, but that's done. It's over with. I'm ready to settle down. This is it. So get ready for the bull run. We're still in it, just because it's like a little time doesn't mean that it's over. It's like, bro, you just got to wait for the next leg up. That's all it is.
Yep.
So yeah, I got to get out of here. Thank you.
I appreciate you, homie,
for having me on. It was good seeing you. I'll be on next week. I have Wednesday and Thursday off next week.
Hey, nice.
So, and I cannot be called in. I have more than enough coverage now that it's summer.
Awesome.
So these little kids are going to be losers. Working all summer. So, all right. I will see you guys later. Okay.
Have a good one, homie.
All right. See you, man.
So yeah, before we wrap it up here, I know I messaged you about Mr. Hanky Coin. So I just wanted to talk to everybody a little bit about that and kind of explain everything. So Mr. Hanky Coin is a meme coin. As you guys know, I love getting into meme coins. It's a literal shit coin, which I think is really funny. And, I found out Brooksy, he got into it, and he's a decently big whale in like Baby Snack and some other secondary meme coins that have come out. He supported Dodo Coin and just a bunch of things in general. And so I heard that he got in. I jumped in thinking, sweet, I can make a bag. That was my thought process, right? And then I found out that the founder of Mr. Hanky Coin is actually Buffalo Bourbon. So shout outs to Bourbon. And, it's not going to rug, in my opinion, 100%. And so they didn't have the LP burned, though, when I got into it. So they had been thinking about either doing multi-sig or burning it. And I volunteered to be a SIG holder so that I could add a little bit of, sincerity or what is it? Security, right? Lack of a better word for, to Mr. Hanky Coin. And, I believe in it just because I also was community manager for a long time for OG Bears, and Buffalo was always in there too, spreading positivity, even though OG Bears frustrated the hell out of everybody. But let's be real. Development was super slow. Communication was really bad. But I don't know. I don't know. I just like the coin. I think Brooksy is not going to be a giant, tool and dump on us. He owns, I believe, like 20%. But the price is pretty low. It's been going down, since its first run up. And this is just another meme coin that could or could not blow up. So this is where I put a little bit of money. I think it's an opportunity if it does continue to do the other things that Brooksy has invested into. And it is a little frustrating or maybe annoying to just put an entire coin on one man's back and just be like, yeah, just trust it because he'll pump it. But to a degree, that is how I feel. But yeah, I've been buying slowly, trying to help with the dips and not have him, do the whole thing. Because if he does do the whole thing, then eventually he's going to own 50%, 60%, and nobody's going to be happy with that, right? So just slowly, I've been adding to it because I truly believe it won't rug. And I think there's a cool opportunity in Mr. Hanky Coin.
Yeah, man. When you told me about it, I said to myself, and I probably need to just like bite the what's the term? Bite the bullet and just like get it done. Like I said to myself, all right, you told me about it. I want to join the Discord, follow the page on Twitter to really see like what's going on. Because from what you told me about it, like I know that the people associated with the project, but I'd love to see. I didn't do the check to check it out. Like I'd love to see like what the meme value is, like what's the angle that they're taking on the timeline. I don't know if you have like an exit, like how, like what's the meme culture like for them, like how hard are they pushing?
So there's been I'm gonna show their Discord. There's been in Raid That Shit. There's been at least 2 to 3 tweets every single day since release, which I think is cool. It's a new coin, so not a whole lot of engagement's been there, but every once in a while, if I find one funny or something, I'll retweet it to try to help. But I don't want my channel to just be, or my Twitter to just be me pumping a coin, right? That's annoying. So I like every single one of them, try to help them out a little bit. I see the work being put in. They've got this thing up here. It's called Shitheads. Only the people who were originally a part of the Discord have this. And we just kind of talk about, like how do we get more people in? What do you think people will like? And one of the things that they've kind of decided on, let's see if I can show it. It's Drip This Shit channel. So let me pull this up. Okay, so you can type /drip. And depending on your role, which is dependent on how much of the token that you hold, you can just type that in and you will get a percentage of the drip. So let's see. Oh, okay. So it's not going to show it because I dripped. I need to wait 6 more hours. But essentially, it would probably say 75,000 Mr. Hanky has been dripped to me, which if you were to try to take that out, you would spend more in fees than you would get back. But you can keep it in there, let it accumulate, and then decide to take it all out at once later. Also, they've put in NFTs. So you could win an Order of the Kraken NFT just by doing your daily drip. It's completely free. You can win a 4 Horsemen NFT and a Wojaks NFT. So they're constantly giving away stuff just for being in the Discord. I think that's pretty cool. And Ben from Bad Fox Motorcycle Club, he is another multi-sig holder, and he's given some NFTs through giveaways in his, I'll show Bad Fox Labs, just because Ben definitely deserves a shout out. That dude is always building.
Yeah, 100%, man.
So
I had
there's
spaces with him the other day too. But go ahead.
what were you saying?
No, I had a spaces with him the other day too. So I'm familiar with him, man. Always
Nice.
building. Mhm.
Yeah, so these are all the giveaways that he's done on his website, which is labs.badfoxmc.com. And you can see all the things that he's given away. I mean, it's pretty crazy.
A lot of Porky.
Oh yeah, I guess he's a fan of Porky.
Yeah, those
But
guys are crazy, man. Love them.
yeah, so it's just it's just another fun, shitty meme coin that could or could not be the next big thing. But it's nice to, I think, have these smaller things kind of going on to bide the time while Cardano's just chilling out.
100%, man. Man, it's always good to like get involved with like projects that you believe in, man. And like when you see people that like you trust, just to play around a bit, just kind of enjoy everybody's company. I don't think that's a bad idea, especially if that's like the utility, like community vibe. For me, like you can't go wrong if that's the way you look at it, and then like you just like manage your investment. So yeah, it's something that I'm going to check out. I know you and Ben, right? And like from what you've told me about the other guys, I'm going to see what's up, man. I'm going to follow you guys on Twitter, join the Discord, and probably pick up some hanky myself.
Appreciate it, man.
Yeah, man, no problem, man.
Yeah, I know a lot of people, kind of got me into the, or know me as like the meme coin guy. Cause like the last 6 months, all I was doing was meme coins, but things have, cooled off drastically. So I haven't really been gambling or anything like that. But yeah, I think Mr. Hanky he's like one of my favorite characters on South Park too. So when I heard the coin, I was like, that's so cool.
You know what's so funny? I couldn't place it. Like I see where it's coming from. So I knew I heard it before, but now I understand.
I got to show you the Discord because one of the roles is 737, which I think is so funny. But let's see where do they put I want to see if they have pictures or whatever. Maybe in the general chat they'll have it, or maybe it's in memes. So here's all the memes for Mr. Hanky. Oh, they don't have the 737? They'll definitely have it if I scroll way up. But that's from a South Park episode. If you guys remember the ziplining episode where there's like, give me a shaka, bruh. And then they're all like bored out of their mind and they're dying literally of boredom. Oh yeah, this is I just got this. This is an Ambernick. This is my little handheld that came in the mail like a day ago or two.
Okay.
I thought it was cool. Yeah, here it is. 737. So that's this picture is straight from the episode, and I don't know. It's just memes. And that's if you hold a billion turd or a billion Mr. Hanky, you get the 737.
You know that farm bot. Somebody was telling me about. Well, a few guys from the community, Nacho, and I think was it Cyberbullion, and a couple other guys. They were telling me about it, and I did some checks because I spoke to. I don't know if you know Moose from. Oh Lord.
Moose Slayer?
No, Moose Knuckle.
Okay.
He's like, I first knew of him from the inmates Discord, and then Hops. Yeah, that's the name of his project. I don't know why. I don't know, maybe the alcohol, but I couldn't remember. I couldn't remember his project, but he's one of the guys that used it too, and like he's pretty. What would I say? Like he is one of those dudes in the space. He's an older guy, very respectful, very serious, like he uses things that make sense, and I think he uses it for his project. He started telling me about it. If not Farm, but another one, I think Geffy. But between the two of them, I like the concept, like rewarding people like who are active in the Discord, being able to like drip on a daily basis. And you just did something for me that I didn't get, a live demo. So mind you didn't get it, but tell me something like, is it a case where there's, let's say, a set amount of allocation for the day, and you can just pull down from that allocation on a daily basis? Like that's how it works, right?
Essentially. So there's 10 billion Mr. Hanky coins in that drip bot at the moment, unless they've added more. And it's first come, first serve, and you can only drip once per day. And then, like I said too, It's between 25,000 and 75,000 coins per drip, depending on your role.
Got you. That's the point. That's the part I was trying to get. So, all right, you get a role based on what? Like your level of activity in the Discord? Like how do you tie
It's
like your level of allocation to your role? Like what kind of role is what how do they structure it in Mr. Hankey's Discord?
So I'm not sure if the Mr. Hanky friend role has an additional allocation, but I do know that the 737, because you hold so much, you hold 1 billion coins, they do give you a bit more than the regular holder.
Okay.
Yep.
Well, I think it would be cool if, and I'm thinking up a way because it's something that I like. I like the idea of it. It's something that I'm thinking to implement eventually in Tips Turtles Discord. If I can set it up where, I encourage people to regularly communicate or do something like drop some memes or something like that. Like if I can encourage that behavior and then reward them, but have it be done in an automated way, I think this could be that solution. So yeah, man, I have another reason to check out the Discord too.
Yeah, feel free to ask them any questions. They're super friendly in there. Buffalo Bourbon, he's got, a lot of experience in here and a lot of the guys too. So I'm sure they could help you out.
Yeah, respect, man.
Oh yeah, man. Well, I think I'm gonna end it here. I just wanted to kind of make it clear about what Mr. Hanky was. I didn't want anybody to think this is my project or I think this is you have to buy, but it's just fun little meme coin. But yeah, appreciate y'all for watching. Remember to get outside, see your family, see your friends. We're here to make more money so that we can spend more time with them. Until next time, guys. Peace.